Hello, this is Prince of Somnia, and welcome back to more Let's Play Dragon Quest XI's. Last time, we climbed Cobblestone Tor, helped out one of the local village kids to prevent him from getting destroyed. And in this episode, we're going to head back to our home village to explore, but also to celebrate.
We're back safe and sound, Grandad.
Indeed you are, my dear. Thank the spirits for that. When we saw lightning striking up there, we got a little worried, I have to tell you. Well, I never. Sounds like it's nothing short of a miracle that you made it back in one piece. Well, there's no doubt about it, the spirit of the land was watching over you. Now tell me, my dear, how was the view from the top?
It was wonderful. I saw the sea stretch into the horizon and the sunlight playing on the water and... Oh, I've never seen anything like it in my life.
You're true Cobblestonians now. Only we have the pleasure of looking out over the world of Erdrea in such breathtaking fashion, you know. Now, you're still young, and the day may yet come when you decide to leave Cobblestone behind. I hope our little ceremony has opened your eyes to a little of what may await you out there. Now, it's high time we were heading back. I'm sure your mother is eager to hear how things went, young man. Don't keep poor Amber in suspense.
Come on, you. Home time.
And for that, we get one of our first titles, or not titles, accolades. I've been playing too much Final Fantasy 14. I think we can... Not quest catalog, info maybe? Yeah, there we go. Accolades earned. So basically they're achievements, actually. And on the PlayStation version, they're actually tracked as such. It's just the Switch doesn't actually have actual achievements, actually. Like a lot of things, the Switch doesn't have, but whatever. So yeah. We'll collect accolades as we go along. I'm not going to go for 100% accolade completion, because I love myself. And that would be the opposite of that. But what I'm going to do is, we've reached Cobblestone, and I will be taking like a little lap around and doing a little exploration. I'll point out some of the more important treasures that we can collect here, but I'm not going to go out of my way to show off every single treasure that you can collect. That's the job of a guide and or your own exploration to handle, and doing so myself would artificially inflate the video's length. Trust me, I know. I edited a video where I did this. And I'm never doing that again. Well, the first of such important treasures is right over here. With the Seed of Agility. This is one of our first stat boosting seeds that we've gotten. Where basically you use one and it increases the relevant stat by a small number of points. Anywhere from like 1 to like 6. Some seeds I think vary on how much they actually grant you. Like I think the Seed of Resilience tends to give more than like the Seed of Strength or something like that, or its range is a little bit different. But on the whole, it's usually somewhere between 1 and 6. So, that's nice. Here's something else I could talk about while I'm looking around the town. This nice looking building over here is a church. I guess that's kind of obvious, isn't it? But anytime you see this sort of, like, weird broken off ring thing with an upside down Y, or just an upside down Y cross sort of a symbol thing, that means it's a church. And inside churches like this, you can do a certain number of things. Confession lets you confess your sins. And for some reason that saves the game. Divination lets you know how many experience points it'll take to get to the next level, although I think you can actually look at this in the menu, so I'm not sure why you would do that. Resurrection costs a certain amount of gold based on your level, but it will bring you back to life if you die. The only other way to do this is with certain items or resurrection spells, and we're not going to have either of those for quite some time, so keep this one in mind. Purification cures poison, but I don't know why you would waste your time going to a church for that. Benediction cures curses, so like they're cursed equipment, and if you equip them, you'll be cursed. Benediction allows you to remove that curse by removing that equipment. Kind of like exactly like in Golden Sun, actually. And then 2D mode allows you to switch your game to two-dimensional mode. In order to do so, you have to make a save file of the game at that point. And once you do so, it will prompt you for certain points in the main storyline from where you can continue the game. So like for right now, we only have one, which is climbing the tower. So we'd be able to switch to 2D mode and play from that part of the game, which is effectively the beginning of the game, honestly. So yeah. But once you start a 2D game mode, you can drop a save and you can load it just like you would load the 3D mode save. It's just switching between the two is a little bit of work, I would say. I think the intention here is to make it so that you can progress in one mode, and then once you get to certain story beats, you can just swap the modes and continue on where you left off on that major story beat, progress the game that way. What points you have to return to is entirely progression based, but once you unlock it in one mode, it's available for that mode, and then you can use switch modes or switch to 2D mode or 3D mode to switch from that particular point, I guess. That long-winded explanation was just the lead up to me finding a cypress stick. It's worthless. It's not even stronger than the sword we have. Anyway, let's hop up here. There's another one of these sparkly spots that contains a medicinal herb, which is good for you to remember because medicinal herbs are useful. There's a ton of those around town, so just kind of go around and investigate, smash open pots, rob people blind, and collect them. Let's see, is it inside the house or outside? There's a treasure chest here. I think it's outside. I think it might be on top of the house, actually. Oh no. I'm so sorry, I ruined all your firewood. By the way, I guess I should mention, since I've kind of been autopiloting, the B button allows you to jump in this game. You actually have a jump button in this video game, which is, well, it's certainly unique for Dragon Quest, I'll say that much. I really do wonder why every game nowadays has a jump button, but honestly I'm kind of inclined not to complain about it because I like jump buttons. Ah, I see where I was mistaken. It's not this house, it's the one up here. Not the big one, but the shed over here. Sandy's trying to point us in the direction of our own home, but why would I ever immediately progress with the plot upon reaching a town? It's like you don't even know me at this point. Anyway, we actually do need to collect this point for the Flurry Feather. I'll explain why later, but we will need to collect that. Hi, can I collect the treasure chest? Thank you. That'll get us a nice fat sack of gold. You could go around and collect a bunch of different items around town, but I'm not going to.
Oh! Here's my little soldier. Well, not so little anymore. I've heard all about your big adventure. Look at you, all grown up. I hope he wasn't too much of a bother, Gemma dear.
Of course not. Quite the opposite, in fact. You would have been proud of him. We got attacked by a monster at the top of the tor, and I ended up hanging onto the edge of the cliff by my fingertips. I thought I was done for. But you'll never guess what happened next. That mark on his hand suddenly lit up, and a bolt of lightning hit the monster.
What did you say? That funny little mark? Lightning flying about the place? Goodness me. Here I was hoping he'd turn out nice and ordinary, but it seems his grandfather was right all along. Well, I've been putting this off for long enough now. You and me need to have a little talk. Here, this belongs to you. Your grandfather asked me to give you it once you'd come of age and climbed the tor. The truth is, there's something I've been keeping a secret all these years. Something I've never told another soul in the village. It's... how can I put this now? Well, he said you're the reincarnation of the luminary.
What?
Oh, don't ask me what the old fool meant, dear. I haven't got the foggiest. All I know is that your grandfather said you had a special destiny and that there was something you had to do. He said that when you came of age, you were to head north to the capital, up there in Heliodor, and show that necklace thingy to the king. He seemed to think that if you did that, all would become clear. Clear as mud, I shouldn't wonder. Anyway, the long and short of it is that if you want to find out what this is all about, you'll have to leave Cobblestone and head over to Heliodor.
Crikey.
Well, I can't stop you leaving, I'm sure, but you won't be marching on an empty stomach. Come on, dinner.
Like all good JRPG protagonists, we wake up in the middle of the night to think about our destiny. So what better to do than to go find someone else who happens to be awake thinking about our destiny? I really don't know why this is a trope, but we're gonna go with it anyway and go speak to Gemma over here.
Oh, can't sleep either, eh? You remember this tree, don't you? I got my scarf stuck in it all those years ago. There I was, crying like mad, and there you were, running round trying to help me get it down. Some things never change, eh? You know, I always imagined we'd spend our whole lives right here in Cobblestone. That's why I was so surprised by what your mum said today. All that stuff about you being the luminary, that reincarnation thing. I remember the story my granddad told me. Once upon a time, long, long ago, the world was terrorized by a horrible monster. But then, the luminary appeared and saved the day. When it was all over, the luminary turned into a star, and he's been watching over us from up in the heavens ever since. That's his star, right there. How can you be the luminary too? I just don't get it. I know. That's what you're going to Heliodor to find out. I understand, really I do. Listen, we should both be getting back. Everyone will be wondering where we've got to. Goodbye, old friend.
Well, just look at you. You don't scrub up too bad, you know. Only wish your grandfather were here to see you. You won't forget him, will you? He was a fine, upstanding man, the pride of the village. You could do worse than try to be like him. Well, however you turn out, I'm sure you'll find a way to overcome whatever lies ahead. A mother knows these things. Oh, by the way, I've popped a little money I'd saved for a rainy day in your pack. Don't spend it all at once. Why don't you visit the village shop before you head off to Heliodor? You'll need some supplies for your big adventure. But don't take too long. The whole village is turning out to wave you off.
All right, we've got our newfangled thunder. Oh my god, I can't believe I said that. All right, so we got our new clothes and everything, and now we're actually looking the part of the hero of this game, as seen in Smash Bros. Ooh, wrong buttons again. I get myself confused by the control schemes of different systems all the damn time. But anyway, if you see a purple sort of bubble with an exclamation mark with the word quest written above it, means it's a side quest. I really don't know what you were expecting. Anytime you see one of these, you can go ahead and talk to the person and they'll have a request for you. Complete the request and you get a special reward. There aren't too many of these throughout the game, but they are there, and while I don't think they're particularly important in most cases, some of them do have a lot of very useful rewards for you. My aim for quests is to complete them all 100%. So we'll be working on these as we go along, and I'll be sure to point them out every now and again. So there we go. That one, all you needed to do was gather that flurry feather on top of Lodo's shed. So, yeah, that's why I told you to pick that up earlier. But we've got one down and a whole lot more to go. Anyway, you're likely going to be directed to go to the shop, but the shop doesn't actually have anything really important to sell you unless you want to stock up on medicinal herbs or antidotal herbs, which is totally fair. Something I should point out is that if you've been collecting medicinal herbs lately, they're likely going to be in your item bag, and if you want to use them, you're going to have to transfer them into your actual inventory. Now, unfortunately, inventory for your characters is space limited. You have a certain number of slots, and once you run out of those slots, you won't be able to store any more equipment in your inventory. Now, fortunately, all of your bags, including your important items and whatnot, they're infinite storage, so if you find yourself running over space, you can just chuck things in the bag and that'll be good. Mostly, I just like to have my equipment and healing items on my party members and then store everything else that I don't need in the moment in the bag. However, you cannot access your bag in battle, so yeah, keep that in mind. And wow, we can actually see the world tree from all the way over here, huh? That's kind of impressive. Alright, if there's any other business you have here in Cobblestone, anyone else you want to talk to, make sure you do that now. But otherwise, once you're ready to leave, just talk to Amber and we'll be on our way.
One day you're just a little boy, the next you're getting ready to leave us. I only wish your grandfather could see what a fine young man you've become. To think, it's been so many years already since old Chalky found you floating I mean, since he brought you to Cobblestone. We never thought there was anything out of the ordinary about you. And now suddenly there's all this talk of luminaries of all things. You know who the luminary was, of course. A legendary hero who saved the world from a terrible darkness. We're supposed to believe that you're him reincarnated? I don't doubt old Chalky, of course, but it is a little hard to swallow, I must say. Oh, when you meet the King of Heliodor, put in a good word for old Cobblestone, won't you, eh? If he finds out this is the village where the luminary was raised, there might be something in it for us, if you catch my drift.
Oh, you are terrible. Trust you to be thinking about what you can get out of it.
Oh, no, I'm only joking, of course. The very thought. Anyway, where was I? Ah, yes. Now, the fate that awaits you may well be one beyond anything we simple country folk can imagine. But you must allow us to offer what little assistance we can. Take this map of Erdrea with you. May it prove useful in finding your way. And may this magnificent steed, the pride of Cobblestone, lighten your burden and speed you on your way. You'll find Heliodor easily enough. Just head north out of the village and follow your nose.
You travel safely now. Oh, you're such a good boy, such a good boy. You make us proud out there, won't you? And come back safe.
Wait! Here, take this with you. I made it for you. It'll keep you safe. I heard there are lots of monsters where you're going. Be sure to keep it close, won't you? I don't know what's in store for you out there, but wherever you go and whoever you meet, don't forget us, will you? Take care, and remember, we'll be waiting for you.
And with that, we now have access to the big, wide open world. Next time on Let's Play Dragon Quest XI's, we'll be exploring the Heliodor region. See you guys then!